So this is going to be a quick review of the Hytera PTC680 dual mode TETRA and LTE Android device. So first, the hardware itself feels quite nice. It fits in the hand very well. Some of the other devices were quite wide and they weren't as comfortable to hold. I think one thing that the Hytera nailed with this was how comfortable this is actually to hold in the hand. Overall, you've got a camera on the back, feels solid, the plastic feels quite good, not cheap, accessory connector, and of course a camera on the front. Now my first impressions of this device were quite good. I thought that for the size, the features that it packs, you have a 3-watt TETRA output, the receive on this isn't too bad, and overall the screen, compared to the 760 devices, the screen on this, the refresh rate it's a lot better. It's very snappy and the screen is really, really clear. So my first impressions were very good. However, after having had this device for a few weeks now, I noticed quite a number of issues with it. The first issue had to do with the speaker, and that was if you keyed up on this radio, you'd be able to hear the TETRA modulation coming from the speaker. It was very, very quiet, but you could definitely hear it. If you were in a quiet room, you would definitely be able to hear it. The second problem was the accessory connector. Now, I'm not sure how well this will pick up on the camera, but there's just ever so slightly a little bit of play. You can just about see it wobbling around. Now, this is not just the dust cover. It's the same for earpieces, remote speaker mics, and the programming cable. Now, you might think that this is just me nitpicking and just being silly overall. It shouldn't affect the device, but actually it kind of does. With the wobble, I noticed if you don't really crack the dust cover on and really tighten it, water will be able to go through the seal and into the actual contact, which isn't too good. And also, mechanically speaking, this wobbling around could theoretically cause the screw to get looser. And you can imagine if you've got a covert earpiece on, or you've got a remote speaker mic for the clearer audio, then that won't be too good. The next problem, so this device boasts an IP67 or an IP68 rating, one of the two, but effectively Hytera claimed that you could submerge this underwater for a number of hours and the device would be absolutely fine. That is absolutely not true, at least not with the unit that I have, and so much so that after this device has been put under some running water, the push to talk button doesn't work at all. You can see I'm pressing it, you can hear the click, you can press it in really well, and yeah, the device is on. It's not in transmit inhibit, because if it was, which I'll put it into transmit inhibit for a moment, you'd see an orange light which indicates it's in transmit inhibit. So I can tell you now, you can press as hard as you want, the button does not work at all. This is not a software bug, because I reinstalled the firmware on this, I reformatted it, I did everything I could. It's not a software bug, definitely a hardware bug. And you can also, if you go in, contacts, I should be able to start a call. So if I press voice, you get a virtual PTT. You can see it works well. The moment I press the side button, nothing. Absolutely nothing. Now, this was with the radio for about maybe 10 seconds under some running tap water. Additionally, when the radio was submerged under some water, well, it wasn't even submerged, it was just put under some running water, it wasn't dunked into the water, the screen started glitching a bit, and also the radio started keying up all by itself. The speaker, the water porting on the speaker isn't terrible, it's not fantastic. Definitely not fantastic. It could do with some improving, because if even a little bit of water gets into the speaker grill, then you're going to have a very hard time understanding what's being said over the radio. On top of that, this radio, and this is the same for pretty much every Hytera TETRA radio, I'd like to imagine, because it's the same with the the PT580 and some of the others that we tested, and that is the radio will only work on 10 megahertz split. If you're on TMO, if you have a system and your system is other than 10 megahertz, say it's 9 megahertz or it's 11, 12, 13 megahertz, this radio will not work. I noticed it won't even try and affiliate. It won't even see the carrier. Now, if I put, now on my system, it's 9 megahertz. If I put 9 megahertz in here, it won't see it. If I put 10 megahertz in here, it will see the carrier and it will try and connect. Of course, it will never connect because my system's 9 megahertz, but at least it will try. Now, that's just a software thing. They could fix it quite easily. But all these hardware bugs, I'm not too impressed, especially the broken push-to-talk button. I also noticed, when I was doing some tests earlier, the emergency button didn't activate every single time. The radio knew the button was pressed because the top screen lit up and you'd hear a bleep sound from the speaker, but it did not activate the emergency feature every single time. Now, I think all these issues combined for a TETRA device, which they market towards mission-critical users, I think it's just a bit disappointing, and it's just from a company like Hytera. With their DMR radios are really nice, but this, it's just, come on, it's just needs a lot of improving. But yeah, so I just thought I'd share my thoughts on this device and see what you guys think of it. Thank you.